I had to actually log in to my iPhone for you to be able to hear me. Isn't that so weird? All right, so since you can hear me, hopefully we can move on. I know the picture is not quite as good as if it was on the internet, but that's okay. And you can't see my mascots. I have my cat, and I don't know where my dog is. He's usually laying on the couch, but he's gone away. But anyway, what I was saying before I realized that I was not even connected and you guys couldn't even hear me is I was talking about some of my credentials. So I guess I'll go back and show you those real quick. So let me do a screen share. Hold on just a second and we'll get this screen share up. This is so weird. I feel discombobulated now that we've had some issues. It's okay though. All right. So what I was saying before is I'm actually I'm I've got tons of degrees and certifications. I've got my bachelor's of science in information technology. I've got my master's in business administration. I've almost got my doctorate in educational leadership. I'm Microsoft certified up the wazoo. I mean, that's all I can tell you is Microsoft certified professional, systems administrator, and systems engineer. I've got A plus certification. I've got N certification, which means networking, and I've got IC3. But the reason I'm telling you this is not to brag about all these certifications, even though I'm proud of all of them. But the reality is, in starting a business and being online and having the I don't know the cojones to push through and get a business started and up and running and be successful, none of those degrees matter. They don't. And you'd think with having an MBA that that would be helpful, but in reality, it's not. When I went to college to get my MBA, uh, I can't think of anything that I learned during that program that I can actually use in starting my business. They talked in big terms as far as big businesses and $1 million budgets and hiring and firing hundreds of people, but they didn't really talk about starting a business, being an entrepreneur and starting a business from the ground up, especially an online business. And they never talked about social media marketing and YouTube marketing and the spider web of things you have to set up to be able to promote a small business online. I am a serial entrepreneur. I've started lots of businesses. My first one being actually fundraising goals from when I was a little bitty kid. I was little bitty and schlepping around this big box of candles and taking them door to door and trying to sell them. So I've been selling things and doing business stuff for since I was probably. I bet you the first time I sold those candles, I was probably in about the 8th grade or 9th grade, probably 8th grade. I'm an Amazon author. I've had several books up on Amazon. I'm a Udemy instructor and former high school biology teacher. And then, of course, about a year and a half ago, I had an amputation of my right leg above the knee, and I've been out of the classroom ever since. And that's what actually propelled me to start the businesses that I have today. As a teacher, I didn't really have a whole lot of time to do business, but now being off teaching and just recovering from the amputation, I started several businesses to keep my brain going. So that's kind of me in a nutshell. Not anything too terribly exciting, but just kind of it is what it is. But I just wanted to tell you a little bit about myself and then talk about the fact that today is Motivation Monday. And if you've ever had a situation like today where something just doesn't work and you're just like, dang it all, it was working yesterday. It's I guess it's real easy sometimes to just kind of sit back and throw up your hands up and say, I give up, I don't want to do it anymore. But if you're running a business, you're going to run into 1,000 things like this a day where things don't work right or don't do like you thought they should do, or something like that, and you'll be frustrated out the wazoo for sure. And it's so easy to just give up, but you don't want to give up. You want to keep going, and you want to push through those problems, and just have that determination that you're gonna do it no matter what. And that'll help you a lot. But that actually wasn't what I wanted to talk about as far as motivation today. I wanted to talk about what it's like to be an entrepreneur, which I guess that kind of relates. But let me kind of share with you my screen again, and I'll kind of show you some of the things that I wanted to talk about today. The first one being an entrepreneur. If you're an entrepreneur, which everybody in here is probably an entrepreneur, you're a risk taker, and you're what I would call a maverick. You're going to do things that are different than what other people would do. Um, and it's strictly because you see something, or you see something in you or someone else that maybe not everybody else sees. You see potential that you want to take advantage of, and not take advantage of it in a bad way, but you just see the potential out there and you want to get the potential out of whatever that is you're doing. For example, if you look at Udemy, the first time I saw Udemy, my brain exploded with the potential of creating courses on Udemy, and creating an income revenue stream from Udemy. And I'm sure everybody else thought, seriously, you're going to put up a course? My first paying course was JVZoo Mastery, and I actually wasn't real sure that it would sell very much, but I knew JVZoo, I knew I could share information, and I knew it'd make a great course. So I made it and put it up there. And even though I had all those doubts, I saw the potential of JVZoo and I saw the potential of Udemy. And so I just put them out there, and I've been real happy with the success of it. Also, if you're an entrepreneur, you're a visionary and you're creative. You see things in a way that other people don't, and you're creative in that vision. You can take something like Udemy, and where someone else would go, "Ugh, it's an online platform for classes. All you're going to see is classes on programming and math." No, if you're a visionary and you're creative, you can actually create something that nobody would have ever thought of, and actually make people a little jealous. Visionaries always make people jealous. You're passionate and you're driven. I can tell you that's one thing about me, is I'm very passionate about the things that I believe in and the things that I like to do, and I'm very driven to do things that I'm passionate about. I remember having a 2-hour conversation with my former principal about how we were doing our children wrong in the classroom, because I wanted to use cell phones as a resource in the classroom. Teaching high school biology, you can imagine the resource that a cell phone would be to be able to look up things and find out things. And our policy was no cell phones, so he would not allow me to do it. And I had a argument with him for about 2 hours on why I thought he was hurting our kids by not being able to use a tool that they had in their pocket, and we knew they had it in their pocket. We just wouldn't be able to use it. Um, I also think that entrepreneurs are very courageous. A lot of times we take steps to do things that are scary. For example, in the very beginning, I remember spending $50 on ads and when I didn't have $50 to spend. And it was a step of faith. It was like, I know if I spend this $50 that I'm going to get a result out of it. So I'm gonna buck it up, and I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna see what I can get out of it. You're action takers. You guys that are entrepreneurs, you definitely take action in things, and you do things um, that require you to be on your toes most of the time. And when you take those actions, they're actions that may be little steps along the way, but they end up being big things later on because you're building up those little steps. Um, just to give you an idea of a little step, you may spend a day putting an email responder list together, but you know that in order to build a list and to get your people involved with your list, you have to spend the time, you have to take the action to get that email list created, that responder list created, or else you're never going to get any results out of your email list to be able to use it as a device to create a revenue stream. So entrepreneurs are action takers. They know what has to be done, and they take action. And then the last thing, and to me this is the most important, is your lifetime learners or lifelong learners. You as an entrepreneur know that you must be learning all the time. You must be green and growing, or you're going to be brown and dead. That's just the long and short of it. And especially if you're an online entrepreneur, because things change so fast and they ebb and flow. And if you're not knowledgeable about the ebb and flow that's happening in your moment, then you're not going to be able to take advantage of it. For example, Udemy is going great right now, and it is a wonderful platform to build a course on. But the fact of the matter is, it may not last forever, and there may be something bigger and better that comes along. So you must always have your ear to the grindstone about what is the biggest and best thing. So if you do need to pull your stuff from Udemy and go to something new, you can. Facebook is huge, but Facebook won't always be here. So if you're basing your entire business on Facebook and you're not looking at any other options, you're going to get yourself in a pickle and get yourself in trouble. So to me, these are all the things that describe any entrepreneur. Now, is everyone a risk taker and a maverick to the extent that, like, I am? No. Um, there are different levels of each one of these personality traits that an entrepreneur has, and I might be a bigger risk taker than the next entrepreneur. I do think we're all mavericks, that we are leaders and movers and shakers in the business industry, and we do things that probably conventional businesses don't do. And but the fact of the matter is, everybody has different levels of each one of these traits. So what holds us back? I think there's a lot of things that hold us back to really breaking that barrier of creating a good revenue stream. And that is fear of new things, fear of failure. And we all have fear of failure. That's just a thing. Um, I think the thing you have to overcome, though, is, well, yeah, I'm going to fail at things. But every time I fail, I need to learn what I did wrong and make sure I don't do that again. And I can promise you, I I don't have a whole big fear of failure. I have a little bit of a fear of failure, but in through my experience in my lifetime, I'm 49 years old, so I've had a little bit of experience in my lifetime. I've failed at a lot of things. There's no doubt about it. And I always try to take any failure that I experience and try to turn it around so that I don't do whatever I did wrong again. And I continue to improve on what I'm doing so that I can look back and go, well, yeah, I failed 99 times. But on that 100th time, look at what I did. Fear of compromise. A lot of times when we're in business for ourselves, we are everything. Everything about that business is us, and we are everything about that business. And a lot of times when you own it and it's your baby, you don't want to compromise on anything. And I remember my first company that I started online was called worldsouth.net, and it was a dial up internet service. Great service, loved it. I'm so proud that I did that. But I remember going to the Small Business Association and wanting to just get some guidance on website development and marketing and stuff like that. And when I went in there, they told me, "Oh my gosh, you got to revamp your website. It's like crap, and you got to do this and you got to do that." And I refused to compromise. I think that if I'd have been a little bit more open to what they were saying and what they were telling me to do, I'd have probably grown a lot more than what I did with that business. So when you're in business for yourself, sometimes it's really hard because it is your baby. It's almost like your child. It's almost too hard to compromise because it's all about you, and you're seeing what you're seeing and you don't want to compromise. I'm not telling you to compromise every time, but try to step back sometimes and see it from a different angle, maybe from a customer angle or from somebody that's not even a customer. Just look at it like you've never seen it before, pretend like you've never seen it before, and try to figure out some ways that you can tweak it that maybe you aren't real comfortable with, but will help your business. Fear of ridicule. This is why sometimes we don't share things on Facebook, right? I'm the same way. I don't share my business stuff a lot with my family because I am a serial entrepreneur. That's me. So I'm sure my family is gonna, every time I post something new about any business I do, they're like, "Oh my God, Shelly's doing it again. She started another business." Wah wah wah. So I just don't share a whole lot of my business stuff with family and friends. I keep that separate, not because I don't want them to know. It's just that I don't need them to know. So I don't. You may feel differently. Your family and friends may be very very supportive, but that fear of ridicule, and Shelly's doing it again, is why I don't share a whole lot with Facebook. I do share my books and stuff with Facebook, but I don't share a lot of the Udemy and the courses that I've created, and then the app business and stuff like that. Fear of change. We all fear that. I know that even when I was having my amputation and I was so ready to have my amputation done, that fear of change of, oh my God, I'm not going to have two legs to walk on and I'm going to have to learn how to hop a lot better. And the funny thing is, the biggest thing that I was afraid of, this is so stupid, but the biggest thing I was afraid of after my amputation was, how in the world am I going to get in the shower? That was my biggest fear after my amputation. Because when in the shower you've got that step up or step over thing, and when you're on one leg and things are wet, you can't really hop. So I was all worried about how I was going to get in the shower and close the shower and not get water all over the bathroom and all that kind of stuff. We figured it out. It wasn't that hard to figure out, but that was probably my biggest worry. And when you're in business, you do have a fear of change. And if you compromise on this, what's going to change? What is going to happen that will change things so much that it may not be what you thought it was going to be, or how you thought it was going to be? So fear of change is a big one. And then a fear of success. I know this sounds strange, but a lot of times you'll sabotage yourself because maybe you don't feel like you deserve to be successful, or you feel that you will be successful and then everybody's going to expect it from you from now on. and, and that's okay. You can fear being successful. I think that's a normal thing, because once you are successful, um, once you are successful, people do look at you a little bit differently. And I remember when I have a whole group of friends that I hang around with that we do karaoke, and I absolutely love karaoke. I'm called the karaoke diva. And I think that's because I love being in front of people. It has no, uh, it's not related to my singing abilities at all. It's related to just I'm a ham up there and have a great time. And there's a whole group of people that I do this with, and then I wrote those books, and the difference in the way the people talked to me was so weird. I went to karaoke and did a book signing at karaoke, and those same people that I've been friends with for 10 years, more than 10 years, they came up and they were like, "Can I get a book? Can you sign it for me? Can I get another copy to give to my daughter?" And it was such a surreal. I felt like a superstar, like a celebrity, and it was very odd. That feeling was very odd. And it was people that I've known for 10 years. And I was like, what's different about me? I just wrote a book. That's, I mean, it's not even that great of a book. It's just a cookbook. but it's that, that once you achieve even a small amount of success, things change a little bit, and you have to kind of look at it just a little bit differently, not get full of yourself, because I guess that would be real easy to do for some people. But you just want to understand that people look at you differently when you do experience success. And it's not a jealous thing. It's not I think it's like, wow, how did she do that? And how how come I can't do that? What can I do to be successful? Not that everybody wants to write a book or anything, but not everybody experiences success like that. So it's a phenomenon to some people, and they react to it differently. So and I enjoy it simply because now I'm in a position to say, hey, do you like to write? Do you like to write books? I publish books. Let me help you publish a book. Let me help you experience success like this. It's really fun. And so now I get to help other people experience that feeling of what it's like to have some success and feel good about yourself. But it's foreign to some people. If you haven't experienced some of that, it's a little scary and you don't quite know what you're going to do with it. And I know in my situation, I try hard not to get a real big ego, and keep it in check and make sure that I'm humble and try to bring people with me because I want them to experience the same feelings that I've experienced with the things that I've gotten to do. It's just super fun. Um, Let me share my screen again, and we'll talk about some ways to conquer some of these fears. In my opinion, one of the best ways to conquer any and all of these fears is to do these things that are on the list. First of all, make your day full of small tasks. If you want to start a business, it's so easy to sit down and write a business plan and say, we're going to do this and I'm going to sell it for this amount. I need 50 sales to get my money back and blah, 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 blah. But you never really get to go down into the very, very tiny tasks that you have to do every day. That starts when you're done with the business plan. So the first thing you need to do is start, the night before, set in stone, write it down, the task that you're going to do the next day. I've got a whole list of tasks that I'll be getting done today. And then you need to make sure that you put a schedule together. And with iPhones and Android phones and Kindles and iPads and stuff like that, there are 100 ways to set up a schedule. Google Calendars and has a task thing and a schedule thing that you can use. There's just so many ways to do it, and you can set up a schedule to set up some goals and see if you are meeting those goals to be able to build your business. And the way to a successful business in my mind is small tasks that you consistently do every day. And if you're getting those small tasks done every single day, you will be successful. It's just a matter of time. That's all it is. Find a buddy. I have people that I talk to all the time about my business, and I gripe sometimes, and then I just talk because I'm excited. I ask advice. I'm making a decision about maybe a ad company or something, and here's what I think. What do you think? But find a buddy, not necessarily a mentor, just a buddy that isn't trying to really guide you. Just be your sounding board and listen, and then blog and share your experiences. I can promise you, if you're sharing the information about your business, like, oh, I wrote 50 emails today to go in my autoresponder, somebody's going to message you back and say, oh my gosh, that's awesome. You did good. And those little things that you do are what will drive you to do the next set of tasks. And that the blogging and sharing, along with the small tasks and schedules, to me are the key to making sure you stay on track to getting your business built and reward yourself. I remember I'm a huge fan of the dark chocolate and mint Three Musketeers. I love those things, and they sell them in the little bitty fun size, which is that's me actually too, is fun size. But when I was a teacher, I used to reward myself every day if I did not kill a student, which I never killed a student. So every day at the end of the day, I got to eat Three Musketeer little bitty fun size bar. That was my reward. And I still do those things. I remember I was working on making 150 apps in 1 month. That was my goal, 150 apps in 1 month. And I did it. So I'd set myself a goal. And when I reached it, I had a reward for myself. And I was really excited that I got that reward. That was a good one. And when I finished my master's degree, my husband said, I've got something for you if you finish your master's degree. And I blew through that master's degree and got it, I think, in record time. And my reward was a new car. So that was great. You can't give yourself a new car every time. But I promise you, even that little bitty fun size Three Musketeer bar was a motivation. And if I had killed a student, obviously I'd go to jail, but I wouldn't have eaten my Three Musketeer bar. I do set silly goals like that. Like if I do my 80 emails that go in my autoresponder, I'll give myself this. And it's, something simple like a shirt I'd seen at the store or something like that. And so I think rewarding yourself for little things that you accomplish along the way are really good. And then of course, as you build your business and make more money, you get to reward yourself with bigger things. And then last of all, get yourself a real mentor, somebody that is in business, they're making money, they're movers and shakers and candlestick makers, and you can ask them questions and they can give you good guidance. Now, you want to make sure that if you do get a mentor and you end up paying for them, that you're paying for one-on-one access. There's a lot of mentors out there that sell a coaching program and a mentorship program, but their mentorship consists of uh, webinars that have 100 people on it, and to me that is not coaching. That's just selling a product is all it is. So find a mentor that you are comfortable with, you're happy with. Really do your research on them and listen to all their free stuff before you end up paying for anything. There are also mentors out there that if you ask them, they'll mentor you at no cost, especially ones that are maybe not as big as the bigger mentors, but they're still movers and shakers, and they'll mentor you and talk to you as long as you don't commandeer their time. So find you a mentor. So to me, these are the biggest ways to conquer fear that will cause you to lose your motivation to build your business. So those are kind of the things that I wanted to talk to you about today. Not a whole lot of stuff, but to me, the absolute biggest roadblock to building business is fear, and it's all the different types of fear that we talked about. And to me, there are definitely wonderful ways to overcome those fears. Tuesday, we're going to be having Template Tuesday, which is tomorrow, and you'll learn some of the templates and services that you can use to streamline and grow your business. And if you've registered for this webinar, you'll actually get email to remind you about it. So just be watching for that email. And then don't forget that Wednesday is Business Building Wednesday. Thursday is Tech Tip Thursday. And I've always got some cool stuff because I'm such a tech geek. And then Friday is Free for All Friday, where we just kind of talk about uh, anything and everything. And you can ask questions about building a business and whatever you think is something that you're interested in. So my Periscope viewers, thank you so much for being here today. And my Webinar Jam viewers, thank you so much for being here today. And thank you for being patient while I actually went through and tried to figure out sound issues. Obviously, I'm going to have to do a little bit of work on the Webinar Jam and figuring out why the sound is not doing right. But does anybody have any questions or anything about anything? I did want to talk a little bit about iCardinal Apps, which is the sponsor today. And of course, that's my company. So I just want to be completely transparent. But iCardinal Apps is a application building platform where you can build applications for iPhone, Android, and Kindle. And also you can build Windows applications. And you don't need to have any programming or coding experience. You can build those applications and get it published on iTunes or Google Play or Amazon, even Amazon Underground. Lots of neat things you can do. And there's a ton of templates. You just go to a company and say, I can build you an app, and you pull the template in, change a little bit of the information, and you're ready to publish. It's really that simple. It actually takes longer if you want to change the graphics to do that than it does to build the actual app and have it ready to publish. So that is at iCardinalApps.com if you want to check it out. And I'll also be doing a coaching program called the App Foundation. I'm finding that a lot of times people, when they join the iCardinalApps.com, they don't have any problems really building the apps, but they have issues with starting their business as far as what licenses do I need, how do I get my business actually started with the tax ID, and how do I get a Dun & Bradstreet number so I can get some credit. All those things I cover in the App Foundation coaching program. I also have a lot of tutorials and stuff like that. And to me, the moneymaker is the documents that you need for your application business, which are the contracts and stuff that you use with your customers. So lots of neat stuff. The App Foundation is going to be officially released in February, hopefully February the 1st. And I've got a lot of things that I'm working on, so it's super fun. Got more Udemy courses coming out, got more books coming out, got the App Foundation going online February the 1st, and of course the live webinars every day to help people build their business. So Andy and Randall and all my people on Periscope, thank you so much for watching today. Thank you for being patient with the sound issues, and I will hopefully see you tomorrow for a Template Tuesday. Y'all have a wonderful day and make it a good day. Remember, make those lists of small tasks and get those done a little bit at a time, and pretty soon you'll see that your business will start growing. Have a great day.